Okay, so in this video, we're just going to go over some quick tips for Wicked Game, the arrangement for the Trinity and Rock and Pop syllabus. We're not going to play through the song, I'm just going to talk about individual parts, some bars, some techniques that would be nice to consider to put into this, and just refine how you play it a little bit. So it'd be great if you can have the music in front of you as you do this, so have your printed pages, your book in front of you and follow along. We'll give you some bar numbers and chords and things to help you know where you're looking. So right off the bat, in the introduction, we are going to come in with a single note. That's the 2nd fret on the G string. And we're going to come in on beat 4. So the counting you're going to hear is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to land right on that beat. We call this a pickup bar. So let's just practice that together. Remember, there's going to be 8 clicks on the recording, and we're coming in on the very last one of them. But we're not going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to count it as 2 lots of 4, 2 separate bars, because we've got 4 beats in a bar. So let's just practice coming in that first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then obviously that would lead straight into our high open string in the next bar of the music. So let's just come in and then put the first 2 notes, the 2nd fret and the open string, together. Not really practicing the notes. I'm pretty sure they'll be quite easy to play for you, but we're just practicing the timing just to make sure it's dead on, because we don't want things to go wrong at the start of our tune. So I'm going to count those 2 bars, and we're going to come in on beat 4 and then play the open string as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously the music will carry on from there. So that's the first thing to consider. Then when you're playing your notes, in the first 2 lines, there's actually no rests at all until you get to the end of the 2nd line, and there's a 4th fret note, 4th fret on the D string. Now that's a 3-beat note, and on beat 4, we want to stop the sound completely. All the other notes up until that point, every single one of them, has been played, and then if it's a long note, it's ringing. But with this 4th fret note on the D string, that's going to be 3 beats, and then we're going to have to stop it. So I'm just going to put my picking hand down quickly but gently on the strings. We don't want a bang or a knock or anything. We just want it to be silent. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, rest. So we've got to make sure that's dead silent. So pay attention for that. Something that could easily be missed. And then when we get into the verse at bar 9 in our song, we go into some chords. So that rest, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you're doing that rest, that's your chance to move your hand, to move your fingers, in to play this A minor chord. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 is the rest, and as this hand goes down, remember you're moving this hand into your chords. So the first chord is A minor. I'm going to give that a strum, then G, and then D. Pay attention timing-wise. These are all 4 beats. 4 beats on the A minor, 4 beats on the G. But in the D, there's a 4-beat note and another 4-beat note. They're tied together. Those curvy lines are ties. So actually with the D chord, we're going to play it. It's going to ring for 4 and then another 4, but we don't strum it again. And I would suggest using all down strums for this section. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then remember that there's repeat lines, or repeat marks I should say, around this line, bar 9. So this line is actually going to be played twice. So we do everything we just did and then do it again. So let's just practice that together. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So again, rhythms there. Make sure they last the right amount. Counting in your mind. When you're practicing this, you could count out loud, but obviously when you're actually doing your performance, either in person or recorded, make sure you're counting in your head. So then we get to our next section. Same chords, but our strumming's different, so we're going to talk about that. The other thing to watch out for, again, this line has repeat marks, so it's going to go twice. And the little percentage sign at the end, we have our D. Apologies, I'll turn my volume up. We have our D chord being played, and then there's a percentage sign. So that means just to play the D part again. So we're actually going to go A minor, G, D, and then the D part again. But our strumming's changed now, so let's talk about this rhythm. Counting wise, it would go like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 So there's 2 strums on each chord, and you can hear that the second one every time is on the and of the beat. Let's just try that again on the A minor. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 Technique-wise, I was playing that all just as a down strum now, but it would also be really great to practice it as down ups, because strumming up when something lands on an and of a beat is really good practice. So that would be like this, slowly. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and again. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 So in terms of developing your technique, although you could do it all down strums, this part would be a really nice chance to practice the down up strumming. Same thing with our chorus. So this is starting at bar 17 on the second page of this tune in the book. The chorus, again, we're doing the same chords, A minor, G, and D, but now our strumming's developed a bit more. Now we're going to play this rhythm. If we were counting that, 1, 2, and 3, 4. So you can hear I didn't strum on beat 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Those notes in the notation are tied. It means the chord that we've strummed is going to ring out for a beat. That's why there's a gap in the tab as well. The numbers have disappeared. So the strumming is the same on every chord. Again, to develop your strumming, it'd be great if we could play it as down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, and again, down, down, up, down. Be very worthwhile to practice like that. So this line, both lines of the chorus, are the same, except on the second line, the very last bar, we play our D chord for 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on beat 4 we pick that last note. So let's just do that. This is the second line of the chorus. I'm just going to play the last 2 bars. That's D. One of the Ds is strummed, and then we've got this hanging note and a single pick after that. It sounds like this: 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pick that single note. So just watch out for that. Then when we get to our last line, we're back to our single notes. Again, in the outro, bar 25 to the end of the page, there is no rest. So we're not stopping the sound at all. So make sure all your notes ring out for the right values. For instance, the first note, the open high E string, it's a 4-beat note, but it's tied to a 3-beat note. So you could count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you play the notes. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets you to the same place either way. I always like to count my beats based on their bars. So I would count the 1, 2, 3, 4 for the 4-beat note, plus another 3, 1, 2, 3. Because that way I always understand that I've gone into a new bar. Okay, so that last line then is very, very similar to what happened in the intro. So really the biggest tip for this one is to watch out for how you're strumming the chords. Watch out for where things repeat. And the final tip would be dynamics. Remember, dynamics is how loud or quiet we play something, and there's a few of them marked on the music right at the beginning underneath the very first note we played, which was our 2nd fret on the G string. Under the notation it's marked MF, mezzo forte, so medium loud. And then when we get down to our verse, things quieten down. Under the very first A minor chord of the verse, it's marked MP. So what we want to try and do is lighten up our picking, or if you're actually playing an electric guitar, turning down the volume a little bit. Whichever way, however loud you were playing your single notes, we just want to lighten up our strums, our picking just a bit, so we can get a slightly lesser volume in that section. I think a lot of people miss their dynamics earlier on and they just play everything at the same volume, which could sound fine, but it's just that extra little bit of polish and touch and musicality that really makes these dynamics worthwhile doing. So just pay attention to that as well. And then where is another one? Oh yes, so in the second line of the chorus on page 2, the very last note, we've just played our D chord, and then we play this single note again. That note is marked MF, so if that note and through to the single notes on the outro, they're going to be a bit louder than you were playing a chord. So the music is started kind of medium loud, then we hit the verse, it quietened down a little bit for our strumming of our chords, and then we go back to the single notes, just picking a little bit harder again. So you're controlling the level of your notes. Your single notes are a little bit higher than the strums of your chord in this one. Okay, I hope those tips helped. We'll do some more for some other songs in this book as well. I'll see you in the next one.